In this video, I'm in Newcastle's West End. Back in the day during the Industrial Revolution, this particular area was right in the thick of it. Down the bank there, on the River Tyne, in the shipyards, the factories. This area was heavily involved in building ships, in tanks, in guns, in cranes. It was a proud, working class, hard area. Then the industries declined. Then they had the slum clearance schemes come in, demolishing all those terraced flats. And then they were responsible for building one of the most notorious housing projects Britain has ever seen in terms of crime, poverty and antisocial behaviour. Today, you walk around this area, you can't help feeling a bit sorry for it. It's a shadow of its former self. Clearly, a lot of poverty around here, fragmented, disjointed, without any clear sense of identity. So in this video, I just want to walk around the area, hopefully talk to some of the people and find out what's going on under the skin of where I am now. This is Elswick. Welcome back, it's Eddie here from Tyneside Life. So first of all, I just need to clarify that I'm not from here. I've got no history here. I've only visited it probably a handful of times, so I'm not an expert on this area. So I don't want to come across as if I'm talking with some sort of authority on the area. For me, this is a learning experience, a journey of discovery, you know, for me as well. Most of you will know from those little short clips who are from this general area that was the Noble Street flats. Those notorious flats built just off Scotswood Road down there. And the Noble Street flats, that disastrous social experiment, if you like, they were knocked up in the late 1950s and only lasted about 20 years. They were all pulled down in 1978, I think, because of all the social problems, the antisocial behaviour problems, the environmental problems. If you lived in those flats back in the 60s and 70s, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Tell me what life was like back then, before they were pulled down, and where did you move to? And of course, back in the day, from the 1960s and beyond, when they were building ships and tanks and cranes and guns, all of this area was just row upon row on this hill of terraced houses. And it was in the 1960s that they decided to pull down those terrace streets because they basically weren't fit for human habitation, which was a real shame, because although they didn't have central heating, they didn't have inside toilets, etc., there was a really strong sense of community. And all the way along Scotswood Road, which I think is about 1.5 miles long, at the bottom of every street, more or less, there was a pub. And back in its heyday, and it's difficult to pin down exactly, but at its peak there was about 44 pubs on Scotswood Road. And it's a shame because they've all gone. During the 1960s of the slum clearance scheme, all those terraced streets were cleared away. And on my left here, as part of that project, which was the vision of T. Dan Smith, the council leader, the famous or infamous council leader. He had a vision of a city in the sky, a Brasilia of the north, and part of that was the tower blocks on my left here at Cruddas Park, or Riverside Dean, I think it's also known as. And 10 were built in the 1960s. Only 5 remain because 5 of them weren't finished, they weren't refurbished because the private company that was putting money in pulled out and the council didn't have enough money to finish them. So 5 of the 10 were knocked down and the 5 remain, and they're named after trees and bushes like pines and willow, etc. And more or less right smack bang in the middle of Elswick, behind me here, is the Cruddas Park shopping centre, or it used to be a shopping centre. It's all a bit run down now, it's not a shopping centre anymore. It was also on the ground floor just around the corner there, home to a notorious pub called the Chieftain. I'd never been in the Chieftain, but by all accounts it was quite rough, and it came down about 20 years ago, I think. Those of you who are local to the area who used to drink, tell us about the Chieftain, what it was like when it come down. But that's another old character pub that's gone. But also as well, there's a nondescript grey door by the main entrance there, which is a huge office which incorporates the police, housing, tenancy enforcement, I think some social services as well. A multi-agency approach goes on behind that door where intelligence and information is shared so that the authorities can come up with problem-solving approaches for problems that are particular to Elswick. They'll use intervention methods, but also when needs be, there'll be enforcement. It could be tenancy enforcement, it could be warnings for tenants who are being antisocial. But if they get wind of locals selling drugs, etc., they can work together to put warrants together. They'll execute warrants in the area to try and keep on top of crime and antisocial behaviour. But also I was fascinated to learn inside of the shopping centre there's a community room, there's a refugee community hub, and because I'm a nice guy and I like to learn, I went inside because I wanted to learn a little bit more and say hello.
Hi, my name is Sira Kegos. I manage a center here in Cruddas Park. We work with a lot of people from different background, refugee background, asylum seeking background, migrant background, but also from the local community that live in Cruddas Park. The kind of support we provide here mainly is based on individual needs, advice, information and guidance on a number of issues when people come. We also have mental health related, people coming from different countries, traumatized in their home country. I understand there's a lot of concern around here from the local community when they see the quote-unquote influx of refugees coming to this area. But I would like to say that we contribute to the culture. We spice it up here. We will bring a lot of good stuff culturally, but economically, and this is documented very well, that a typical refugee and migrant brings more to the economy than they take, because most refugees are men in their prime time. They want to work, and they are, for example, instrumental to the local economy in Newcastle. Hi, this is Nabiha. She's from Syria. She does a lot of work with Arab and Kurdish community in Gateshead, Sunderland and Newcastle. We have got an impact manager over there. He does all the paperwork for us. He's a good man. We have got from the East Europe countries as well, Czech Republic. She's been on TV recently. She's a local celebrity. She does. She works with Roma, Czech, and Slovak. We have got the Rwandan community leader, Ali. He's helping with people from different countries, but mainly from Rwanda. We have here from Sudan. She's called Maya. She's a very active lady, works with a lot of women in Sunderland and Newcastle.
My name is Maya Yusuf. I come from Sudan. I come in here since 2019. After the military come my country and the war started, I'm running to my family in UK.
How old are your children?
17 and 14 and 19.
And do they have Geordie accents now?
It's perfect. I can't understand him because I can't understand Geordie sometimes.
Ah, so your children have got Geordie accents.
Yeah.
And do they support Newcastle United?
Yeah, sure. You know, my daughter also, she good footballer. She play in team in Gosforth Academy School also.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Notash. I'm Iranian. I'm a community leader for Iranians, Afghans, and Kurdish Iranians. We have lots of activities here. We support women, we support refugee, asylum, and any Iranian or Afghans or Kurdish or anyone pop into the community center. So we have on Mondays crochet, sewing class, food banks, helping people for essential items. On Saturdays we have baking class, we have cooking class, again food bank for essential items for people. And we have some other activities, outdoor activities like swimming, biking, and sometimes people just pop into the community center, get around together, chatting, having breakfast or having lunch together, and they share their stories, or there is some place to relieve their stress and find friends. And everyone loves here, and it's a good place. Everyone can pop in and everyone is welcome.
Hello, my name is Lisette Moreno, and today I'm gonna explain a little bit what we are doing here in Hope Beyond Borders. We are a small organization and it's part from South America people, but it's coming many different people are here. And basically, we are doing English classes for people that they are coming here and they don't speak English properly. So we try to help to them and giving some opportunities to practice English and also with the community.
What an absolutely lovely bunch of people there were in there, and I thoroughly enjoyed meeting everybody, and a special thanks to Lee, to Sirak, to Mia, who were fantastic in making me feel welcome. The hospitality was superb, really friendly, lovely people. Thank you very much for that. So I'm walking up the hill now. I think it's all part of the Ryle Hill area. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but there's also over there a community pool and gym, which I wasn't expecting. Is it still open? Is it still functioning? I would love to have been in this area going back to the earlier decades of the 20th century and seeing all these terrace streets, and got a taste of what life must have been like back then, because it's obviously nothing like it was. The area, you can tell, is being kind but tired. You can tell there's a lot of poverty around here. I would expect there's a lot of crime and antisocial behaviour, and tragically, I heard about a young lad who lost his life to a stabbing young lads, gang related, in the park just over there. When was that? About 3 years ago. Oh, your heart goes out to his family and friends. Just needless violence amongst young lads who are being disrespected. Oh, good grief, man. Just a waste of a life. And it's going on in these areas, what used to be proud, close-knit communities. I do, yes. Thank you. Yes. Cheers. Oh, being recognised again. So now we've just come to the top of this little bit. I think it's called Elswick Road, just up ahead, where there's a little bit more civilisation. We'll see what's going on around there. Yeah, I'm on Elswick Road now, and that looks clearly like it used to be a pub. I'm not sure if it's still open in that the Newcastle West building there. What was the name of that pub? Another one obviously gone by the wayside. Well, a very interesting building just on my left here, the West End Women and Girls Centre. Used to be the old George Stephenson Library, and right next to it there's a sign, big white sign, saying misogyny is a hate crime. It's not welcome in Elswick. That's quite a hard-hitting sign. I do know that the centre here do a lot of amazing work to provide support and help for women and girls who are victims of domestic abuse and domestic violence, or being sexually exploited in some way. But it's testament to the area that they've got a big sign like that for everybody to see that there must be a lot of abuse of women and girls, particularly in the Elswick area. There are certainly a lot of Asian supermarkets and takeaways and the like. There's also a lot of premises which have got the shutters down, obviously fell by the wayside. But I haven't found a cafe yet. Is there a cafe in Elswick? I'll keep having a look around because I'm choking for a flat white. There's another derelict place just here, the Paradise Lounge. Used to be a bar. Was it called the Chesterfield? I don't know. Look, don't get us wrong, I'm sure that the place is filled with lovely, decent people. I've got no doubt about that. But the place itself, it's quite depressing. I find it really interesting. If you think of or look at the map of Newcastle city centre, directly to the east of Newcastle city centre is Baker. And of course the famous Baker Wall Estate, which I've done a video about. And of course Baker has its problems, undoubtedly. But you can still see there's it hits you in the face. There is a community there. It has a busy high street, Shields Road. It's still bustling, probably, not as bustling as what it used to be, but there's still a lot of life going on there, despite the hardships which are currently ongoing. But you come on the directly west of the city centre and you come into Elswick and it's a completely different story. And I don't know why that is, particularly because Baker was very industrial as well. That went through a slum clearance programme, of course. So I wonder what it is, because there's a completely different feel about Elswick. I mean, it's the middle of the day, it's a Thursday afternoon. It's not, certainly at this time of day, it doesn't feel intimidating or unfriendly. It just doesn't seem to have a lot of life in it. Oh there, you got lots of nice holidays? Yeah? Nice? Do you get much business around here?
Me?
Yeah, I'm doing a video about Elswick. And sorry?
Not allowed this business.
Okay, no problem at all. No problem at all. Have a nice day.
Good day.
There you go. Didn't even want to talk and tell us about his travel business. What's all that about? So I've just been chatting to a lady called Amanda outside the Bilal food store there. She said it's dead canny in there, but she's lived in Elswick for a lot of years. She didn't want to appear on camera, but she's not very complimentary about Elswick. She describes it generally as not very friendly. It's changed a lot. People keep themselves to themselves. They won't talk to each other. She mentioned as well about the gang culture here amongst young lads, and she mentioned the young lad that was obviously stabbed in the park there. It was about 3 years ago. Aye. It's a shame. So I've just come to a field area just off Gloucester Road, and behind me there, about half a mile I'd say, is Arthur's Hill, just the top of Westgate Road. And there's this lovely green area here, but clearly there's been a huge bonfire in the middle of the field there, surrounded with rubbish everywhere. It just makes the whole place look really quite unwelcoming and run down. Britannia Place. I'm sure there's obviously lots of lovely people living on this estate, but I don't think I'd like to walk around here by myself on a night time. It looks a bit tired, but clearly very educated in that house. Newcastle United fans. I like that. And there's a big flag, Newcastle United flag. You can see it just behind us there. It's a bit worn, needs to be replaced. But this estate's seen better days. I'll tell you what, in my opinion, it doesn't matter how badly off you feel you are, to let the place just turn into a shit tip of rubbish like there is in some parts of Elswick around here. There's just no need for it. It's not somebody else's job to keep the place tidy. take some personal responsibility, work together as a community, get a couple of some bloody bin liners and a couple of litter pickers and tidy the place up. There's no reason to let the place just go to rack and ruin like that. It's just a lack of pride, it's a lack of personal responsibility, a lack of community responsibility. There's no need for it. I like to put a positive spin on everywhere I go in Tyneside, but it's really difficult to do that with Elswick. It needs help. Elswick, and as I've shown in this video earlier on, there are lots of lovely, decent people working hard within their communities, trying to build a community feel and to try and help and support each other, but not enough. Certainly when you walk around here, and this is not my first day walking around Elswick. This is probably my fourth day of researching and filming in Elswick, and in my opinion, there is a lack of identity, I think, in this particular ward. There doesn't seem to be much community cohesion. It's fractured, it's a broken community. And although I haven't seen any today on other visits to Elswick, I've seen a lot of Rajis, and you know what a Raji is, you know, if they're not homeless, they're certainly on the lowest rungs of life. They're sofa surfing, they've got drug and alcohol addictions. There's 3 or 4 of them that have arguments with each other. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't see them walking around Elswick, which you do quite a lot, it's refugees who are trying to find a place, or battered women. If you're from here, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are of living in this particular area, the West End of Newcastle. And if you did like the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And if you want to watch a video about one of the West End's most notorious child killers, make sure you check this video out. And if you're wondering, no, I didn't find a cafe.